North Carolina is a great state, a beautiful, bountiful land whose natural resources combine with human creations to make our state a magnet for people from other states and other nations. But beneath this sparkle of modern progress, there is a nagging, crusty underbelly of our society that makes all of us less than whole. In the 1960s, President Lyndon Johnson declared unconditional war on poverty. He said, "Let's do something we can be proud of. Help the weak and the meek and lift them up and give them training and give them an education so they can make their own way." President Johnson and a perceptive Congress realized that a war on poverty must begin not in Washington, but in the nation's communities. That set the stage for the birth of our community action agencies, charged with the task of combining community, state, and national resources to extend healthy, productive opportunities to all people. Today, almost a half-century later, there are 36 community action agencies and 6 limited-purpose agencies in our state still working hard to provide these opportunities. But all of this effort raises an important question. What are the root causes of poverty? What are the weak spots in our system that cause 1.5 million North Carolina people to scrape through their lives on poverty-level incomes? First, there is unemployment, made more vicious in recent years by a crippling recession, and all across the countryside, crop mechanization has permanently eradicated millions of farm jobs. Another problem, substandard housing. How can you maintain health and self-respect when your house is a refrigerator in winter, an oven in summer, and your fuel bills are like big holes in your pockets? And there are education issues. How can we cut our high school dropout rates, discourage youth gangs, and give all young people a chance to learn employable skills? Food is plentiful in this land, yet hundreds of thousands of people are chronically hungry. 1 out of 5 North Carolina children lives in poverty, and the parents have to work to survive. Who will care for these little ones all day, teach them the joy of learning, and keep them in a safe and healthy environment? How can you hold down a job if your aging parent or spouse needs care and supervision? And who can afford nursing home care? For North Carolina's left-behind people, the situation is critical but not hopeless. In 95 North Carolina counties, community action agencies are leading the way, focusing energy and creativity on the root problems of poverty. If you could visit some community action agencies this week, here's what you would see. Programs for children. There are more than 22,000 North Carolina youngsters enrolled in Head Start and other child enrichment programs. These little treasures are absorbing life lessons in group behavior, self-discipline, and the joy of learning. And while their minds are being readied for years of schoolwork, they eat 2 carefully planned meals a day to build strong bodies for the active years ahead. Many of these child-friendly rooms are blessed with volunteer grandparents, perfect role models for today's children. When these little ones grow up, will there be good job opportunities ahead? In recent years, crippling unemployment has fallen hard on North Carolina. Community action agencies are responding with life skills training and counseling. Job seekers attend 8 to 10 weeks of instruction in employment skills. They learn how to find a job and write a resume. Through role play, they learn the right way and the wrong way to handle a job interview. They learn how to keep a job once they get it, the importance of getting to work on time, following instructions, and achieving through teamwork. Along with the classroom instruction, there's one-on-one counseling to help people set life goals, solve child care problems, and build self-confidence. Does this type of training and counseling really help people enter the workforce? Nikki Fauntleroy had a low-paid, dead-end job that couldn't cover her bills. Today, she's a medical technician in an assisted living facility. Kelly Dawson was unemployed for a year. Now she's an administrative assistant at a trucking company. When Susan Warner was laid off due to the recession, she had to take a minimum wage job. Not anymore. Today she's a social worker at a leading healthcare facility in Hendersonville.
At $7.50 an hour, it was very hard to live, very. I was enrolled in the self-sufficiency program, which is designed to help people get through things such as I was getting through. You lose your confidence, and I was very terrified. I had 2 case managers who helped in many ways. I had resume help applying for jobs. 2 of the people with WCCA came and gave me this mock interview, and it was wonderful. I was even just a little nervous, like it was real. But when I left that interview, I had more confidence than I've ever had.
Tara Butts was living in public housing and working at a minimum wage job. Having finished the self-sufficiency program, she's a homeowner now and starting a career in law enforcement. Ramona Oxendine was doing okay until they closed the textile plant where she worked. The 4-County Community Services CAA offered her on-the-job training. Now she's executive secretary to the president of the Lumbee River Electric Membership Corporation. In every North Carolina county, there are people who suffer during severe winters and torrid summers. Their heating and cooling bills are burdensome because their homes are old and drafty. Wasted energy drives up the cost of energy, which affects our entire economy. In North Carolina, our community action agencies weatherize homes at a rate of more than 8,000 per year. John Tonkin retired a few years ago to a mobile home with a spectacular mountain view, but his heating bills were punishing him.
They came out first, and they had this here high-tech stuff that I scoffed at. Put some frame around some red canvas and called it a blow door, and I was sitting there kind of making fun of it, but I have to take it all back. It was very, very effective. The work that they did, my power bill would be running about 30% less compared to last year.
Homeowners aren't the only ones who benefit from weatherization efforts. This program provides employment for skilled building trades workers who otherwise would be drawing unemployment compensation. The weatherization effort also benefits young people like this recent college graduate. The only job she could find at first was waiting tables at a local tourist resort. Now she's a weatherizer working for Community Action Opportunities in Asheville. She's learning new skills and considering new career choices. Housing problems affect a broad spectrum of people. Across our state, there are older folks who own an aging home but can't manage the cost of upkeep. Coastal Community Action operates a home upgrading program that transformed Ms. Leah Grady's house into a cheerful, comfortable place where she can continue independent living.
The house was old and like everything was falling apart, and I couldn't afford to fix it. And in the kitchen, the floor was so weak, I stumbled. It was cold. You could feel the wind coming through the windows. But since the house has been fixed, our light bill has fallen because it's the difference in the heating. We were paying about $100 and some a month. Now we only pay $65 and something a month because of the way they fixed the house.
In our fast-aging society, there are many who are too old and infirm to work. Many suffer from dementia, poor nutrition, and just plain loneliness. At Blue Ridge Community Action in Morganton, an adult day care center provides a safe, happy place, plus nutritious lunches.
When my husband had a stroke last March, he was almost completely helpless. He couldn't walk, talk, eat. They encourage him to walk and participate in activities. And he is walking, he's talking, he feeds himself. He loves to be around people. And this gives him the opportunity to share and to have friends and things that he wouldn't be able to do at home. It is so wonderful to have him come through all that he has been and to see how independent he is now.
Coastal Community Action, in its 8-county area, sends volunteers to visit in homes and help seniors cope with disabilities. They also provide transportation, help, and companionship for everyday activities. In a society plagued with problems of obesity, it's hard to believe that many of our citizens are chronically, constantly, painfully hungry. North Carolina's community action agencies mobilize to meet these needs. In Fayetteville, Cumberland County Community Action operates a giant food bank that serves 18,000 families. That adds up to more than 4.5 million meals per year. Inside the warehouse, volunteers from local businesses and high schools sort incoming donations. All day, the trucks and vans back up to the loading docks. They come representing 200 nonprofit groups, such as churches and Salvation Army units, to gather free food items for distribution to hungry families in a 10-county area. In Goldsboro, Wayne Action Group operates a kitchen that prepares more than 1,250 meals per day. Some of these tasty meals are delivered to senior daycare centers. Others are enjoyed by Head Start children. Some are picked up by Meals on Wheels volunteers like retired pharmacist Tommy Gibson and delivered to seniors with limited mobility like 90-year-old Betty Burden. At Western County Community Action in Hendersonville, this pair of happy chefs cooks 300 meals a day for children in 12 Head Start centers. Community action agencies continually develop new approaches to their community's special needs. In the mountains, where homesteads are few and far between, low-income people struggle just to get to work, to the grocery store, to the doctor. In Waynesville, the Mountain Project CAA operates a fleet of minibuses that travel more than 500,000 miles a year.
If it wasn't for this bus, I wouldn't have a job. Basically, all I do is live on my little bit of Social Security and survive. No go nowhere, do nothing. Sit there at the house, and every time I want to go to grocery stores, I have to call a cab. That would be a small fortune.
In Hendersonville, Western Carolina Community Action operates the Apple County Transit System, with 25 vehicles carrying 95,000 passengers per year. On a typical morning, you'll find a community college student on his way to classes, a woman headed to a doctor appointment, a passenger catching a few Z's on her way to work, and a fellow going to his job. The Wages CAA in Goldsboro has a special interest in health services. It partners with pediatrician David Tayloe and Wayne Memorial Hospital to provide health care for Head Start students, very young low-income mothers-to-be, and newborn babies. In Gastonia, Gaston County Community Action operates a charter school offering education in kindergarten through 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grades. The school's director explains how elementary education is a good fit with community action.
We work with families that are in dire poverty, people who are struggling. They are generally people who have a limited educational background. And people with a limited educational background don't know how to help their children. And children who don't have those at-home supports and don't get the extra support that we provide in our charter school are deemed to repeat that cycle. The charter school was just a natural progression of everything we were doing.
An innovative CAA in Greensboro called Welfare Reform Liaison operates a spacious warehouse for processing returned and overstocked goods donated by a group of retailers including Walmart. After employees sort the goods and scratch out brand names on clothing, this merchandise is distributed to local families in need and also to numerous churches and charities in North Carolina and other southeastern states. Many community action agencies deal with housing problems. The Choanoke Area Development Association, a four-county CAA in northeastern North Carolina, recognized a great need for rental housing for low-income seniors. Looking around, they saw a number of grand old abandoned school buildings. The CAA refurbished 3 of them into beautiful apartment complexes, featuring spacious meeting rooms, quiet lounges, and comfortable living spaces.
I said my prayer every night and every morning for this place, and Lord made a way, we're here. And I thank Him for letting us be here.
It is a whole lot easier to clean this apartment because there's not as many rooms at my house. It's so clean and new, and it's compact, and I like the people. We're all friendly.
The Winston-Salem CAA, called Experiment in Self-Reliance, operates a small apartment development for homeless men, giving them a chance to learn independent living skills and enjoy a safe place to live while they're adjusting to the world of work and self-sufficiency. Experiment in Self-Reliance also has helped 425 low-income families to become homeowners. Even during the recession, their mortgage default rate was less than 1%. In Waynesville, the Mountain Project CAA acquired a 20-acre tract of land, then worked with Habitat and various church-based agencies to build 18 homes for purchase by low-income families. Mountain Projects also developed an attractive complex for renters and a 24-unit retirement community for senior citizens. Many of North Carolina's community action agencies are more than 40 years old. They're well respected in their communities and often partner with businesses, churches, and government agencies to get the job done. For example, if you observed a board meeting at Wayne Action Group in Goldsboro, you would see a real estate broker, a community college official, a banker, a county commissioner, a community activist, a representative from a low-income community, and representatives from the Extension Service and the Department of Social Services. North Carolina Community Action. 40 years of experience in helping people live healthy, productive lives. That's good for business, good for the community, and good for you and me.